This is Gene Krebs.
Hi there. Oh.
And we're high on Ohio.
When you talk about being high on Ohio, I think, Gene, a great example of that is we lose some levies, but the residents of this state, by and large, have been very, very generous in both education and in the delivery of human services. Does that mean there's adequate resources to meet all these needs? No, there's not. But we've been very fortunate that the residents, and some of that is a result of the service delivery, and there's been successes in this stuff. So people, the local residents have voted taxes on themselves to provide these human services. I think what we're dealing with is a broad philosophical difference. And I think, I think if you go back, we're going through that change in terms of what's the role of government. And I think there's an awful lot of fear that we're moving towards socialism. You're getting more and more government involvement in healthcare, in those types of programs, and it shouldn't be done that way.
Okay.
So I think it's sort of that ideological, the philosophical. I mean, even the governor. The governor opposes Obamacare.
Right.
But he's been out front on the expansion of Medicaid, and was finally successful.
Yeah.
Through the controlling board on that. But I think it's sort of ideological, and it's a fear of how much is government going to be involved in our daily lives. You can't plan any more than 2 years, and any commitment people make in the General Assembly, it used to be you could get a little longer term commitment.
Yeah.
In the last 10 or 15 years, no.
Because the term limits.
And term limits have had a lot to do with that. So you get a 2-year commitment, and that's it. You don't get long-term commitments. People do things at certain times during that 2-year budget period in good faith.
Yeah.
I'd never say they didn't mean to do that.
Right.
But things change in 2 years, and in the end, we're at the bottom of the food chain. Counties are generally at the bottom of the food chain. Counties deliver all those services at the local level, and if the state doesn't provide the money, guess who gets stuck with it? It's the county in most cases. People on the street, the general citizen, I think, believes that county commissioners have a heck of a lot more power and authority than they do. Anytime anybody has a complaint about virtually anything in the county, they'll come to county commissioners, and a lot of times the commissioners will say, I can't help you. You got to go talk to the engineer.
Yeah.
Or you got to talk to the judge, or the clerk of courts, or the Children's Service Board. And those people then think, guess what? They think they're getting the Washington runaround. There's a lot of people in the large counties, they wouldn't know all 3 county commissioners.
If they came up and...
If they were on the street. You go out and ask, here in Franklin County, go ask who the 3 commissioners are. I bet you people may be able to name one of them.
They'll start naming Steve Stivers. They'll mention Steve Stivers.
And everybody knows who, but everybody will know Mike Coleman. The one thing that really concerns me is both at the national and the state level. And just look at what happened here recently in Congress with nearly coming to default, government shutdown. And again, we've seen some of it, it's the philosophical bent that we have. The Democrats and Republicans don't seem to get together and work things out for the good of the people. And so you're seeing much more ideological types of positions, much more partisan, and I think there's less camaraderie than used to exist. I know particularly in the Ohio General Assembly.
Yeah.
The old days of going to the Neal House or the Galleria and having a drink and people getting to know each other and knowing the names of the kids. I don't think as much of that goes on both sides.
Yeah.
I think those on the right are way out there, and I think way out on the progressive left. I think they've all gone too far, and frankly, I'm tired of hearing about the 1% and the middle class and all those debates that go on and on, because I don't think they have much relevance to day-to-day activities and making government work for the citizens of this state. We're losing our best and brightest.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, to the urban areas.
Yeah.
Or to other regions of the state, and that's a real shame. And I think if we could really address that, we need to do something as a state, in my view, to try to retain our best and brightest through scholarship assistance on other things, so then they have a commitment for a 2 or 3 year period. If you get the kids out of college and they start in Ohio and get established a little bit, I think they're liable to stay. If you lose them right out of college, it's unlikely you're going to get them back.